In this video, we're going to go through the EOS Coda doc that you can find in the description, and you will understand what are the key components of it, how to manage it, and what you can expect or not expect from it. So the EOS framework is Entrepreneurial Operating System, and it is a clear framework for managing your entire organization. It is composed of rules or principles to use when it comes to meetings, managing to-dos, issues, as well as collaborating within your team. And this doc takes all those principles together and packages them in a Coda doc that is essentially meant to be a sort of app for EOS that you can use collaboratively with your team. So Coda is coda.io. That's a collaborative software where you can build databases and essentially your own custom app within the framework of Coda as a tool. I've taken all the principles from EOS and put them together in a Coda doc. So the first thing to note here in this Coda doc is that what you see on the left sidebar menu is everything that you can use within the EOS ecosystem in here. So these are all the principles from EOS, and you can access them from the left sidebar menu. The second thing to know is that in the background, there is a database page that is hidden. And if you want to go to the source tables of your software, you can click on here, 3 dots, and then show hidden pages. And when you do that, you will see that this database here shows up. And when you click on it, this is the source of truth, essentially, of your entire EOS Coda doc and system, where you can see an explanation of what you have here on the right-hand side that are the master table that we have. And these are relational tables that you can go through. And if you want to add something at the source, that's where you want to be. And you can click here, hide hidden pages. Now, the first page that you see on the Coda doc, besides the usage guide, where you can find this video as well as a contact form to reach out to me if you have any questions, and a written blog post regarding the system, the first thing that you can find is the EOS Dashboard. And this is essentially a summary of all the key components from the EOS framework on this doc that you can see here on the left sidebar menu. So in particular, let's close the sidebar menu here. On this dashboard, you have an outline here where you can jump to the 3 key sections that you can see. And the first section is the to-do list, showing to-dos due this week, because the EOS framework is weekly centric. So you want to complete to-dos on a weekly basis and then move on each week. And to-dos are usually discussed in your level 10 meeting that happens weekly, or at least with a regular cadence. So in here, you have this table that shows all the to-dos due this week. And you have some filters that you can use as well. For example, you can filter by the to-do name. You can type the name, or by the owner. Right here, you will have a list of users right there, as well as by the due date more specifically. And whenever you've done your filter, you can also reset things to show all the to-dos due this week. And this is coming from the to-dos table that you're going to see later. Next up, you will see the meetings of the week. And here, you have as well those quick filters that enable you to filter based on specific attributes of the table that we have. And then when you scroll down, you will have a weekly view of the meetings table. So you will see your meetings on a weekly basis based on the time. Here on the left-hand side, you have time, and then here you have the meeting. And each meeting is a page. So in here, this meeting, for example, you see that it runs from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. That's a level 10 meeting. And you can click on the page to open it and see all the details of it right here. And finally, on the EOS dashboard, that is the generic organizational dashboard, you can see the weekly scorecard tracking. So these are all your scorecards that you have. And in here, you can quickly track them by adding a weekly measure, as well as seeing all the past weekly trackings down here. So let's go down this left sidebar menu now, because the second component is My Dashboard. And My Dashboard is very similar to the EOS dashboard. The only difference is that My Dashboard is specific to the user viewing this page. So it uses dynamic filters to display information that is only relevant to that specific user, whereas the EOS dashboard is organizational wide. So in here, you also have a table of contents or outline. That's what it's called in Coda, where you can jump to the 4 key sections that you have. So first, you can quickly add a new issue here, because issues tracking is a key principle in EOS. Issues are what sort of stop an organization from moving forward. And so we want to capture those issues and then IDS them. So identify, discuss, and solve them. And this happens through the level 10 meeting that takes place on a regular basis. So if you want to add a new issue, you can just click on this button here, new issue. I'm going to generate a new card in here where you can insert the name Right here, that's the issue name, and you have the description where you can write down whatever you need down here. And in addition to that, you also can provide options and ideas on this box. You can also expand right here if you like. And you can also provide solutions right here or your initial ideas, so that this ensures that when you discuss the issue in the level 10 meeting, there is already some basis, there are some foundations laid out, and you shared your thoughts rather than just raising the issue in the first place. And then if you need a to-do for this issue, then you can add it here by clicking on this button. And when you archive the issue, you can archive it right here. But now this issue is part of your list of issues that is going to appear in your level 10 meeting, as well as in your master issues inventory. Down here, you have the to-dos due this week. In this case, it's only your to-dos. Then you have the meetings of the week. And in this case, again, it is only your meetings of the week. And finally, you have your weekly scorecard tracking. And that's where you can see all the scorecards that are assigned to you, meaning where the accountable person is you, the person viewing this page. And then you can see all the data in here, the unit of measure, the operator, the target number, and then you can track your weekly target versus the realistic number in here by adding a new row here or clicking this button and then adding a new entry. Next up in the list is the Vision Traction Organizer. And that's the high-level strategic foundations of your organization. It's a regular exercise, but it's a long-term vision of the business and overall organization. So in here, you will see the VTO cards. These are your Vision Traction Organizer exercises that you run over time, and the status in here. And then in here, you will have two graphs, one with the core values and one with the core focus that you add during your VTO. And these are essentially word clouds. So they display all the words that you add here. Then you have the current marketing strategies that you add from the VTO as well, the current 3-year strategy, the current 1-year plan, and the current quarterly plan. And these are all components that you are asked to add during the VTO exercise. So in here, you can either open an existing VTO or you can create a new card. So let's open this one here, and you will see that you have the month in here. You have the status that can be draft, review, final, or historical when you archive it. And then here, you can go through the whole exercise. So you can open this as a page. Then you start by adding core values. So you click this button, and then you have this box here. You have the VTO automatically applied, and then you click out, and you can add as many core values as you like by clicking this button. And then you can do the same for the core focus and for the marketing strategy. So you can click this button here, and then you have the target market, the 3 uniques you can type here by clicking Shift and Enter to create new lines. Then you have the proven process, the guarantee, and then the VTO is automatically applied in there. Then you have the 3-year picture, the 1-year plan, and the quarterly plan. So you work your way through these buttons to add all the information that you need for the VTO. And once you're done, then you are done. You can exit full screen, go back here, and here you will have an overview of all the information that you entered, starting from core values, focus, strategies, and all that stuff. And in here, you can see that for values, for example, we have test value appearing right here in our word cloud. We just have one word, so it doesn't look amazing. But if you add multiple values, then this is going to become alive even more. The next key component of EOS is team aspirations. And these are goals and rocks. Goals are yearly objectives that you have. Rocks are quarterly milestones for those objectives. So you can break down each goal into multiple milestones or rocks if you need. So in here, you have the current goals, and then you have the current rocks. And you can see them by status, not started, in progress, and done. So whenever you want to add a new goal, you can come here, click on new card, and then you have the goal name right here. You have the status. The VTO that is going to appear here automatically whenever you add the goal from the VTO. Then you have the achieved by, that's a date. The direct responsible individual right there. The 1-year plan that you can choose here. For now, we have it not data in there, so that's why nothing appears, but otherwise you would have a drop-down menu. Then you have the description of the goal, as well as created on. That is just a metadata for you. And in here, you can move things around just like that. And when it's done, it's going to disappear. And then you have rocks. So rocks are quarterly milestones. And here as well, you can add rocks in exactly the same way as you would do for goals. Next up, you have the scorecard tracker. So you want to track scorecards on a weekly basis. And so in here, you have your weekly overview by scorecard, where each scorecard is a toggle that you can expand. For example, test 1 is a scorecard here. When you hover over it, you will see all the information for that scorecard, and you can also open it as a page. And then for each scorecard, you will have multiple weeks. So in this case, you have the week start date, the responsible individual, the operator, the weekly target this week, and that's the number that every responsible individual adds on a weekly basis. And you can expand it here as well to see any notes that the person wrote for that week. And here, you will see the average for all the week entry. And then you can close the toggle and see one scorecard at a time. Down here, you will have all the active scorecards. And these are cards that you can expand. So if you want to just focus on test 1 without all the noise there, you can just open test 1 here, and then you will see all the weekly trackings down here. And finally, you have a weekly chart where you can view scorecards based on the trajectory over the weeks. So in here, you can choose the scorecard. For example, I will choose test 1. So you can choose that, and then you will have the graph down here based on the weeks. So for now, we just have 3 weekly trackings, and that's why we have 3 data points. But as you add new data points, you will have a more accurate and valuable curve looking at the scores over time. The next key component of EOS is the issues tracker. So the issues tracker is where all the issues that you add during your level 10 meetings or that people add from their dashboard appear on a daily basis. And here you will see all your issues. You can also toggle archived because you archive issues whenever you complete an issue. So in here, every issue is a page. So you can open it right there. You have the name of the issue, description. You have options and ideas, solutions. If you want to add to those, you can choose this button here. And that is it. And you can tackle issues on your level 10 meetings that are from the meetings dashboard right here, where you will see your monthly calendar as well as this week's meetings down here. So for your meetings, each meeting is a page that you can open. And whenever you create a new meeting, you will have the agenda automatically created. So the level 10 meeting agenda automatically populated for you on the page. So in here, first you have some metadata, such as owner, attendees, and the start and duration of the meeting. And then you have all the agenda. So you have the segue, you have the timer here. Then you have the review scorecard section, and you have the timer. And each timer is predefined based on the EOS framework and how long each section should last. So in here, you review your scorecards, you review your rocks. These are the quarterly milestones that you have. Headlines, and last week's to do. You can also define the due date in here, more specifically. Then you have the issues list, and that's the chunk that takes the most time in your level 10 meetings, 60 minutes, to go through your active issues. Then you conclude, and you can also rate your meeting from this slider here that is independent for each person. So in the to-dos dashboard, you have all your open tasks right here. And if something is orange, that means it's overdue. And then you have the overdue tasks. That's the one in here. And the tasks by owner, where each owner will be a column. And then you will see all the active tasks, incomplete tasks in here, stacked vertically. And each task as well is a page that you can open to see the due date. And you can break it down into subtasks by using the slash command, and then you have the checklist item in here, and then you can write down your sub items. Once it is done, you can check this box here. And finally, the wiki. The wiki is where you have your internal documentation as well as your team directory. So your team directory is where you can add all the cards for your team members. And for each team member, you have the role, you have the email, and you have an image, as well as the Coda user in here. Whereas for the wiki, each document is a page that you can create in here by clicking on new item. And then this is what it looks like. So you can expand it. And then you have some metadata, such as the owner. That is a very important principle in EOS, having an owner for everything that you do. And then in here, you have the notes. That's where you can write free text and add images and whatever you need just by using this slash command. And when you open that command, you will see all the options that you have available in Coda when writing text or creating a document natively within Coda. And really, that is all there is to the EOS system in Coda. These are the key features and how to use the system. We use a lot of buttons as well as filtered views to ensure that information stays contextual and people can focus on their own work on my dashboard rather than getting lost on all the information that there is in the system for everyone in the team. And so regardless of how big your team is, everyone can actually focus on their work only at any given time. And at the same time, you can step back as a leader in your organization to look at what's going on by looking at each specific dashboard individually, or just by taking a step back in the overall EOS dashboard. You will find the link to this Coda doc in the description of the video. Thank you for watching for now. Feel free to leave any questions if you have them, and see you soon.